Hey, Mike here for another episode of Mike Making Munch. Yesterday, what a day. Blimey. Not really able to do the video. I hope you didn't mind too much. I hope you enjoyed seeing my shoes. Good times looking at my shoes. Well, today another kind of weird one, dealing with leftover lasagna. So it's all still in the dish. Need to divvy it up into leftovers. Because lasagna, when it's hot and freshly cooked, it's just a little bit difficult to manage. So, first, get today's ready. So it can start warming up in the my advice, don't try to warm up your leftovers in the fridge. I often think, yep, time to warm up the leftovers in the fridge. That's a mistake. I often make that mistake. That's not a one-off. That's not a just today I've made that boo-boo. I normally get that wrong. I've never actually followed through and put things in the fridge thinking now that will warm up and I'll be able to eat it for my lunch. But I've often put it in the fridge, warm it up. So, yeah, put it in the microwave to warm it up, or whatever you want to put it into. You could put it in the oven to warm it. Maybe if you got the right kind of toaster, you could put it in the toaster. I don't know. If you want to warm up leftovers, put it in something that will warm it up. Don't put it in the fridge unless there's something horribly wrong with your fridge. I once lived in a house where, I think every morning I'd go to the fridge, I'd be like, oh no, the fridge is broken. And then I'll be like, oh no, it's not. And then the next morning, the very next day, I go to the fridge, get some milk for my cereal or whatever, maybe milk to put on my porridge. I go, oh no. I think I was probably getting some cheese to make a cheese sandwich to take to work with me. I'll be like, oh no, the fridge is broken. Because I open the fridge, I'll be like, oh, it's warmer in the fridge than outside. But I realized after a while, what I was recognizing was the situation of the house rather than the situation of the fridge. So the house was colder than the fridge. The fridge was perfect, 4 degrees, doing exactly its job. Nice. Keeping food cold. What it's supposed to do. Keeping things 4 degrees. The house, on the other hand, was like, 4 degrees, I can do better than that. And so inside the house was colder than 4 degrees. I was a bit like, is it even worth having these walls? We may as well just be in the cold. Why is it so cold? Because it's probably what the temperature was outside. Yeah. Not an amazing home. But home is what you make it. Is it? I don't know. I don't know if that's... But I just said it, so maybe it is. Right. Time to put the other one in. Almost. Two more seconds. 1 second. There you go. One thing I like to do when warming lasagna is you stick the knife in the middle, leave it for a second, pull it out, feel the tip of the knife. Then if it comes out and you feel it and it's freezing cold, you know the center of your lasagna is frozen. Lasagna is like one of the worst things to reheat because like the center stays so cold for so long, but then your outside edges are like molten. But it's not like any other kind of pasta where you're reheating it. You can just stir it. I suppose you could just stir up a lasagna, but it sounds crazy to me. Bam. Well, that's most of it divvied up. With a considerable amount still in here. Wild times. You know, I've been learning in philosophy that people's arguments are rarely irrational. It's just a question of which rationality are they following. Like, is it something I recognize as, like, so in my community, in my culture, there's a certain way of building an argument. And it's true for someone else's culture, true for someone else's culture. Like, there's a way of putting together a rationality. But it's just, it gets real hard when you come up against someone else's culture because it just seems so dumb. And you're like, that's insane. Like, there's no real connection between those things. But for some people, like, it can just be there's a connection between those things because it's just so commonly talked about, it's a basic idea. Yeah, those two ideas are just super connected. You don't need to make a logical connection between it's sunny and it's a nice day. So you can just say, oh, it's a nice day. And by that you mean that it's sunny. Or, yeah. Or you could be a farmer in the middle of drought and be like, oh, how good's the weather been lately? Because there's been rain. So you'd be like, oh, what a nice day, what a nice day. Mean completely different things because there's regular connections there. And that's just on like how ideas fit together. But you can also have just, yeah, those ideas regularly fit together. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to say, I think thinking about that, it gets real hard to be like, yeah, that there is actually a rationality there that I want to understand. When someone sort of disagrees, and it's like they say, but what about this thing? It's like, well, yeah, what about that thing? How does that have anything to do with this conversation? Pretty wild. I think the thing that I struggle is when people are talking about two options, and they say, yeah, well, that's a problem with that option. There's this problem with that option, and you got the two options there. I'm like, yeah, that's a problem for both options. Both options have that weakness. But they're like, oh, but that's a problem for that option. As if that is an argument against that one, when it's an argument equally against both of them. Like, anyway. Ooh. Well, the center of the lasagna is not too bad, but I'll give it just a little bit longer. Give the lasagna a little bit longer to warm up. Nice. So, yeah. It's interesting arguments. And I think it's also interesting hearing arguments reported. Like when someone's telling you about an argument they were in, you're like, oh, talking to this person, and they were saying this. I just, like, they pick out the details that they hear. And it's, in general, I would say, probably good details that they're picking out. But it just gets, like, how do you have sympathy for insane people? But they're not insane. It's just they're following a certain version of rationality that is not my version of rationality. But how to engage well and be like, oh, okay. You've got that idea, but how is that consistent and coherent? I think that's the main thing that I want to do when talking to people. Is make things coherent. Anyway, this lasagna is nearly done, so I'm done making lunch. So I will catch you tomorrow with no more water interruptions, no more other things. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe there'll be no internet tomorrow and there'll be no video. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. Anyway, have a lovely day and I will catch you tomorrow.